Welcome to Tao Living, the Art of Living podcast with your host, Luke Corletto, where you will be supported to remember that you are the driver and not the vehicle, so that you can walk your life in trust.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Tao Living podcast, the Art of Living. And today I'm going to share a metaphor for healing. I'm going to use skydiving as the metaphor. I've shared this with clients and other platforms when I've spoken before. And I realized I've never shared this in the podcast. So let's unpack that because it's quite profound on many levels. So one, many of you know, many of you might not know, my passionate obsession for this beautiful sport called skydiving. And I happen to be both a tandem instructor and a AFF instructor, which means I can take the public and strap them on and jump out to have an experience. And I can teach people to go solo, the AFF, which is accelerated freefall. And so that is going to give context. That's why I bring that up. So healing, right? And some of you know that's May 18 to 21. My partner and I, Lydia, are holding a beautiful retreat called the Art of Living Retreat. It's a 4-day event on our property. So we're going to combine the healing and the skydiving to unpack that process, because some people are going, is this for me or not? Yeah. So let's look at that. Most people are introduced to skydiving through what's called the tandem. They show up to the drop zone, the place where you skydive, and they watch a safety video, and then they're introduced to their instructor, who gives them a couple pointers on what they need to do to their body when they get out of the plane. Pretty straightforward, pretty quick process. They get on the plane with their instructor. The plane goes to altitude. And on the way up, everybody has their dance. Some get really nervous. Some are really calm. Everybody goes through their own idiosyncrasies. But when the door opens, no matter who you are, for your first jump, that's when everything changes. Because that door opens and everything inside you goes, what in the F do you think you're doing? No matter how cool and calm and collective you were, or how excited you were, or even how terrified you were, the door is what we call the equalizer, right? And those first few jumps, especially your first one, that just sets the stage for everything. Like, no! And as the tandem client, meaning when you're going, you get the experience of having everything faced first, full frontal, I should say, which is there's nobody in front of you, right? Your instructor's strapped to your back. So when you're looking out the door, your mind is like, oh my God, I'm all alone, even though this person's behind you and you can't move without them. And so when you do eventually go out the door, you get everything, right? The wind's right in your face, like everything is straight on, the ground's coming at you, all of it. Yet there's somebody there. So here's where there's one piece of healing, especially doing deep dive, is this direct metaphor. You're going to get the experience, full frontal, meaning out the door, wind in the face, ground coming up at you. But you're not alone. Your instructor, who's done this thousands of times, is intimately attached to you, right? Through the harness and through clips and all kinds of stuff. They know what's going on. They know what's going to happen next. They know what to do if something goes sideways, an emergency. They understand all that. That's why they're instructors, right? They're there for you, for your safety, period, to get you back to the ground safe and sound. So you do have an epic experience, right? The skydive. So in healing, going to an event like a retreat, to have guides, in this case, my partner Lydia and I, who've been doing deep dive work for well over 35 years each, right? So we're looking at 70, close to 80 years between the two of us. We're your guides, right? We're your tandem instructor. So when the door opens to healing and it gets scary, which it does, real transformational healing gets scary. Gets scary in a lot of levels. We start looking into places we might not want to look. We open up old doors that we thought we had shut and buried, but they're essential to get to. And we also go to the unknown, and we're not sure how to navigate that, right? So that's all skydiving. Stepping out of an airplane, that's not something you do on a regular basis unless you're a skydiver, right? So for the public, it's the first time. We don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know anything that's going on. As a matter of fact, once you step out, your brain goes into overdrive. the jump, depending on, we'll just call it a 60-second free fall and then like a 5-minute parachute ride. That 60 seconds for the instructor feels like 60 seconds. For the client, it feels like 5 seconds because there's so much going through their system that they're on overwhelm. And then when the parachute opens, then they go, oh my God, we survived that. Thank God I'm going to live. Everything slows down because it's a slower ride. Now you're going like 25 miles an hour instead of 120 miles an hour. And so in the healing dynamic, there's the, oh my God, right? Everything's up. Yeah, but that's why you have somebody that's got your back, right? Like the tandem instructor. You've got the guide, in this case, Lydia and I, who know the terrain, who are there holding space, who have got your back, and are going to bring you back to the ground safely, yet transformed, right? Just like the skydive, transformed. No matter what, when you come down and land, even if you'll never do it again, you're transformed, because that's an incredible experience to jump out of an aircraft, fly through the sky, or as Buzz Lightyear says, that's not, or whoever said it, right? That's not flying, that's falling with style, right? We're not actually, the earth is pulling us back home, right? And so to take this metaphor a little further, right? So again, thanks for tuning in. To take this metaphor further is great. And so in skydiving, right, there's the tandem. You hire somebody, they strap you together, you go out the door, they bring you back safe, you get the full frontal experience. But you don't need to know anything, like how to read an altimeter, how to know when to get out of the plane, how to fly the canopy, how to land so you can walk away and all that good stuff. That's why you're paying the person, right? But let's say you want to do it yourself. Well, then you need to go through training. Then you need to go to the next level, right? So at the retreat, one, we're going to be your tandem instructors, your guides through the process. And then, as also part of the retreat, plus follow-up, which is why I shared at the very beginning, I am both literally a tandem instructor and an AFF instructor, meaning I can teach solo. So then we would give you the skill sets, right? So if you were to come and skydive and want to go, hey, I want to learn how to do this on my own, then great. We put you through what's called ground school. It's a whole bunch of information that covers everything. Gear, weather, plane, emergencies, right? Everything. And then you go make your first jump. And you have 2 instructors take you out, holding on to you, and you do drills on the way down till it's time to pull your parachute and fly it back, right? And they guide you in on radios. And then each jump, they progressively add skill sets until you are able to then jump on your own safely and know how to get back to the airport and land safely, right? Then you've cleared that status. Now you keep jumping until you get a license, kind of thing. And so same thing in the healing transformational process, right? You do a deep dive. Having guides is phenomenal because they can help you in places that you've never navigated before. Great. Now you've got a foundation. What's next? Well, tools. So you can keep doing it on your own because it is your life and it is your process, right? Now, if that's all you want, like most people that go into skydiving public-wise, it's one and done. They do a tandem, they have the experience, they're done. But there's a number of people who experience that, like myself. I did a tandem, I landed, went, oh my God, how do I do this? And then I've been jumping for a long time since then because I fell in love with it, right? And so what are the tools to continue the healing journey? What are the transformational tools? What can I apply to my life, right? So that's the solo skydiving. And that we also bring into play as well. The strategies, the skill sets, the mindsets. So clearing out the psychology, dealing with the brain, the body, and the breath. Those are the biggies. Bringing conscious languaging, bringing conscious breath, conscious movement. How do I feed this vehicle? What do we put in here, right? What do I put in here? What do I put in here? And so we cover all that at really, really high levels. And then we give those skill sets so you can continue the journey, right? It's not, hey, that was a great 4 days. Now what do I do? And flounder around. No. Clear direction on how to continue your process at whatever depth you want, right? If you really want to keep going deeper and deeper, then great. There's ways to do that. In sense of working with guides, one-on-one or in group or more events, whatnot. So that's skydiving as a metaphor itself, yet skydiving is healing. plenty of people that come out and take a tandem skydive have massive transformations. There's major breakthroughs, getting over fear, breaking through phobias. Some people end up healing parts of themselves that they didn't even realize they went because it was a bucket list, but their life changed. Like something happened during the jump. Yeah, because transformation ensues. What happens if you keep doing it? It's changed my life. And the skydivers that I know who continue to skydive, it's radically changed theirs beyond the sport. So skydiving in and of itself is also healing, not just a metaphor, but a practical tool, right? It's one of those things, right? It's for everybody. Not everybody's ready for it. Like there's not a resonation, right? Like scuba diving or any other beautiful activity. If it resonates, dive into it. If it doesn't, find something else. There's plenty of things out there. Back to the metaphor. When you're ready for a deep dive, make sure you've got a good guide, right? In this case, a really competent tandem instructor. You're literally putting your life in their hands, right? Because if they don't know what they're doing, that can turn bad pretty quick. Same in healing. If you're going to do deep dive healing and you don't have the right guide, that can go sideways pretty quick. And then you can end up in some yucky places. Versus competent guides who know what they're doing and live it, then it's cakewalk, right? You still got to do the work. But the guidance and the awareness and the tools, all there. And that's what Liddy and I bring to the table, right? So if you are ready to do some next level work and you'd like some good tandem instructors, right, for your healing journey, then join us May 18 to 21, right on our property. We've got a beautiful, we're honored to be caretakers of over 92 acres of amazing forests, literally. Deers and coyotes and black bears and all kinds of amazing animals and ponds and water and natural spring water that comes up out of the mountain that we drink. And that's where we're holding the retreat. Yeah. So it's a safe and sacred space that holds the context for the work that we'll be doing in May. Love to have you. And if this isn't for you, but you know it's for somebody, send them this, the podcast link and or to the YouTube channel, right? So it's now both. You can find it on the website, any major podcast player, audio-wise, and or the visual content is now on YouTube. The Art of Living Podcast. Yeah, Tao Living Podcast. So again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for taking this journey with me about the metaphor of skydiving as a healing metaphor. And I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So abundant blessings. Until next time. Peace. Ciao.
Thank you for tuning in to the Tao Living Podcast, The Art of Living. Click the link in the show notes for the complete details for the May 18 to May 21 Art of Living Retreat. Or go to my website, loucorletto.com. Under Programs, scroll down to Live Events and choose the Art of Living, Tao Living 4-Day Retreat. Until next time, abundant blessings. Ciao.